Hello there, friends, fellow warriors. Welcome to another episode of Brave, Bold, and Unfiltered. Today I have a guest that you may have seen in a past episode where Sean interviewed him on a little clip. It's my husband, Rich, and he is not used to this, so I wish we could hear people clapping behind the scenes. I could give you a nice warm welcome, Rich. But it's true. You're not used to this kind of stuff. Not your comfort zone.
No.
Not like Sean, who's like, yeah, podcasting, let's go. But you know, what I planned to do was, this is the 14th episode of this little series I was doing on my book, Burn the Map.
Yep.
And I thought I would do a kind of a, a compilation and do a bunch of clips from it. And then just this morning, I had a different idea. I thought, what if you and I just have, you don't even know what you're here for.
Nope.
I give you kudos for that.
Spontaneity.
You don't even know what you're doing here. I don't know what he's doing here either.
Spontaneity.
But I thought, what if, talk about burning them out. What if we kind of just had a little look back on our lives? I'm 63. I don't want to say how old you are unless you want to.
What's the date today? October this.
We're filming this beginning of October. So
October the 6th, I think it is.
Whatever. Fifth.
So in 33 days, I'll be 70.
In 33 days, you won't say 60 anything ever again.
Oh my gosh.
Unless you're talking about me.
I can't even believe that.
Doesn't it seem weird? So what if we did...
Well, the good news is, the older I get, the higher the probability I can shoot my score in golf.
True. See, it's always about your attitude and perspective, right? So, I don't know, I just thought it would be interesting to just do a little look back, because the whole idea of burn the map isn't like everyone go out and burn up your lives. It's kind of the opposite. Sometimes life burns the map for you. But I think that what kind of messes people up a lot, Rich, is that we have all these expectations about how our lives are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Based on what is considered successful.
Yeah.
Based on the way we thought it was going to be when we were 11 years old and wanted to have a licorice factory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a childhood thing, based on what parents expect of you, or just society, your dreams get dashed, whatever. And I think what I hear and see all the time is people that are so bummed out because their life's not going in the direction that they wanted it to, and then it feels like a failure.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
True.
So, I mean, I kind of made mention of it, but it's true. When I was 11, I loved red licorice so much. And remember, when we were little, $1 million was a lot of money. Like, it was the number.
Yep.
No one said trillions and billions and gazillions.
Yep.
It was a million.
Yep.
And I remember, if I ever had $1 million, I'd open a red licorice factory.
Yeah.
That's my little 11-year-old dream, right?
Yeah.
You probably wanted to be a professional athlete.
No, not really. No, I love sports, no question. Unfortunately is the wrong word. I played baseball at a high level from 9 years old all the way to 21 years old. But I wish I had taken up golf, because you don't get hurt playing golf. It's less stress on your body playing golf.
Right.
There's money in golf. You travel the country, you see fabulous golf courses and all that. But back to the candy. You were red licorice. I was... Let's put it this way: for 65 years, I've been an M&M with peanuts.
So you would have had that factory.
Oh, yeah. And it's kind of interesting because, and just thinking about your red licorice analogy. So, for 65 years, Mars, and long before that, have been prospering off of M&Ms with peanuts. And I'm one of I bet you I'm one of their greatest consumers. I go to Costco and buy that 1 pound container, and it's gone in 3 days.
What if you had all that money back from all those?
Oh my gosh.
But the thing that's really sad, my friends watching, I'm not talking to Rich right now, I'm talking to you watching or listening. The thing that's sad is that he doesn't deserve to be thin. It's ridiculous, okay? It's not fair. And I'm going to talk to God about that when I get there. So, but what I was thinking about really is that at certain points of our lives, we had expectations of how it would be, right?
Yes.
I'm sure you had certain business expectations.
Yes.
And it's kind of interesting because, let me step back a minute. I feel like some people have their life mapped out. Some people, like girls, be like, oh, I'm going to get married and I know what my wedding dress looks like. And I was never that person who had my life mapped out. I just knew, life, that's life laughing. I just knew that if I did the right thing, I was an honest person. I worked hard.
Yeah.
I had integrity. I took good care of my children.
Yeah.
duh. It's like, I'm a math person.
Yep.
Shouldn't that equal, let's
Yep.
get out your calculator, Rich. Shouldn't that equal good things happen to you?
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know about you, but I never had it all like figured out in one day I'd marry this person and this would be my career. I mean, I just kind of,
Yep.
I didn't have a lot of direction from my parents or, well, I only had one parent, but I didn't have a lot of direction. So I wasn't one of those people who's like, I'll go to college and become this. But I just knew in my soul that life would turn out well because I would make it.
Yep. No, totally agree. So back to
Is that life laughing again?
back to plans. So I remember I always looked up to my uncle, who was very anal, very buttoned down. Just everything was looked to a child like he knew exactly what he was doing and where he was going at all times.
Is he the one with the pool?
Uncle Art was his name.
Did he have the pool?
He had a pool. And I remember
Was it like black or something?
No. I told him one day, I'm going to have a pool. It's going to have a black bottom. Okay? And I'm going to have a sports car like you. He had an MGB at the time. So what did I do at the age of 18? I go buy a Jensen Healy. Not as many of those as there are MGBs, which is to say, difficult to have them repaired. It was in the shop every other week.
But you had the sports car.
I spent a fortune in repairs, but that car was so cool. Convertible. Don't see many of them like it. A long nose on it like a Jaguar. And I was in college. I had no business having a car like that because it was always in the shop. I couldn't drive to school. B, I didn't have the money to pay for it.
But the thing is the point is that you had, it was kind of like life is your oyster. And I think that is the way it is with younger people, 20s, even 30s. Life hasn't beat you up yet.
That's because you have this innocent naivete.
Although life had beat you up because your brother died suddenly. I mean, life beat the hell out of you with that.
Well, yeah, he had died 4 years prior to that, yeah.
But I mean, but then now you're moving into your 30s and, you know, you had a corporate job in San Francisco and, you know, all this kind of stuff. My life was completely different from yours pathwise. But I think each of us individually, before we met each other, knew that our lives would be good because we would make them good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So...
Isn't that how you kind of...
Interesting you brought that up because I was born and raised in the Bay Area, and I got out of school, and my first corporate job was with Clorox in Oakland, California, on 12th and Broadway. I was on the 23rd floor. I could see San Francisco as clear as the day, and I was with them for 7 years, loved it, and they asked me to go do a temporary assignment in, of all places, Seattle, which rains like hell.
Not to mention, did you think of Seattle? Because I'm from Seattle. That's how we met. Did you think of Seattle as like the lumberjack town?
Nope.
It wasn't the high-tech place yet. Well,
No.
It was the high-tech place by then.
No, well, it was
Microsoft was...
It was, yeah, it was, but not like it is today.
Right.
There was no Amazon.
There was no Silicon Valley.
There was no Amazon yet. Costco was starting to expand in a big way. But yeah, it wasn't what it is today. But I didn't know Seattle from a hole in the ground. I associated with Seattle Alaska Airlines.
And it rains a lot.
That's all I knew, Alaska Airlines.
And it rains a lot.
No, I didn't even know that.
You didn't?
No. But
oh my God, you were that little innocent boy.
I was.
On
but
Sunset Drive.
But Clorox said, look, go up there, spend 3 or 4 days so you can look at the area, see the weather, look at the real estate.
Oh, don't tell me it was those 3 days that are nice.
I don't know. Yes, it was. Yes,
Oh,
it
no.
was. It was. It
Oh, you
was.
poor thing.
And so I said, this place is cool. So I remember I said, can you give me a week to think about it? Because this was a big change for me. I was born in what I would call Mayberry RFD. My K through 8 was literally 2 blocks up the street. I walked to school, K through 8. My high school I walked to, which was maybe a half a mile. I went to college in San Jose, which was a 25, 30 mile commute. And I got a job at Oakland. So all of it in this 30-mile
Yeah, and
race.
you went all the way to Seattle.
And then I went, do I want to leave my comfort zone? I'm single. I don't know anybody in Seattle. Do I really want to do this? And I thought, well, they said it was temporary. I'm going to come back in 2 years. They needed me because of my talent to help them with an acquisition they made. So that was a compliment. So I said, what's the worst case scenario? So I did it. It rained like hell.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh! But I always
You
thought,
think I've read her? This is rust.
yeah. But I knew that if I needed to get some sun, I could get on a plane, and
Yeah.
in an hour and a half, I was home. right, for a weekend. And my girlfriend at the time could come up. And that's what we did.
You said you were single.
I said it was single. That's single meaning married, not married.
Oh.
So anyway.
Don't ask, friends.
So anyway, I did that. And you know what happened? At the end of the assignment, they said, okay, it's time to come back. We appreciate the work you did for us. We're going to promote you to X. And I went, you know, I would ask you to leave the door open for me because I really like Seattle. I'm going to look for something else to do here because I couldn't stay there permanently because they sold the division.
Right.
I went up there and so the rest is history. I stayed in Seattle for 18 more years. I met you. We got married. Took on Sean and Jamie.
Took on. Had the blessing.
Had the blessing of Sean and Jamie. Yeah, and the rest is history.
But the whole point of the thing was that we think those are all choices that we can make and that everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously your brother dying was the massive, you know, at that point when I met you, I had never experienced anything big.
Yeah.
I remember looking at the picture in your mom's, that I can still, to this moment, I can see the picture of Bradley on the left side of the fireplace at your mom's house. And every time I'd be there, I'd look at him a lot and I would think, oh my God, she lost her son. You lost your brother. Like, I had never experienced anything like that. And so I didn't really have a way to relate to it. I just knew that I felt sorry for you. Also, your ex-wife, whose name is Val, so she's bad Val to me, cheated on you, and you found out your child was not your child when he was 1 year old. That's devastating.
Yeah, that wasn't.
So I'm sure when you married her, that was not the map you thought was good.
Yeah,
right?
that wasn't a good time.
No, that's a horrible, horrible time.
That wasn't a good time. But it's all about the choices you make. That was another choice I made, which was a mistake in retrospect. But
who at the time you don't think
the positive choice I made was to stay in Seattle as well. So you don't always make the right choice.
That's a really good point we should make here. If you wait around trying to figure out I think people get paralyzed in indecision for that very reason, what you're saying. Like, I don't know what if it's right. No one knows the future. You only know in that moment you have your gut, which I've decided, you know, a lot more to me to say, I just want God, you tell me what to do. Because I feel like I've bombed ahead in my life and made terrible decisions that in my gut, which I believe was God. So let me tell you about my thing. So I probably haven't told you. I get married to, well, I know you know this. I get married to Sean and Jamie's dad when I'm 20. Hello. What an idiot. Talk about a bad decision. Yeah. The weird thing is that when that movie Runaway Bride came out, I went, oh my God, that was God telling me all those years before that movie came out to be the Runaway Bride. Yeah. I was literally walking down the aisle with my stepdad. In my gut, while I'm going up to get married, is telling me stop. But then you look around, it's your pride, it's your ego, it's all these people are waiting here. I'm going to feel stupid. And I didn't go with what I thought was right. Yeah. And knew in my gut, right? Yeah. And so I think we all can say that we had times when we knew in our gut and we went against it. And, but so everyone has like little mini map burns along the way. Yeah. But then when Jamie got into her addiction, Rich, I would honestly say, now you know that Jamie was very strong-willed. Yeah. But she had so many awesome qualities to her too. But when that addiction thing hit, didn't it seem like overnight she just became a different person? Like what? Yep. I didn't know I didn't know her. I remember looking at her and seeing her face and hearing her voice and knowing her, but then looking in her eyes and going, I don't even know her. Who is that? Well, I mean, I don't know. That's just the power of the drug. That's the bottom line. And then the drugs came about as a result of this relationship, which came about as a result of coming back from a Bible camp. How ironic. And she came back hotter than hell for Christ. And the first place they went to help under-resourced children, in theory, was it Tacoma? Where'd they go? Yeah, in Tacoma. Tacoma, and she meets this guy. And what did we sat outside the place where she was doing the outreach. Yeah. We sat outside of it because I didn't even want her to go with the people. Yeah. And then she ends up becoming one of them. Yeah. So I think a lot of times, and especially now with drugs, since you brought that up, Rich, I think a lot of times now, life moves you in a direction through no fault of your own, not through choices of your own. That entering our lives was not anything we did. The only thing I guess we could say we did is allowed her to go to the church thing.
Yep.
Okay, so who would not do that though?
Yep.
So okay, let's say we didn't. Maybe the beast would have got her somewhere else.
Yeah, you know, yeah. You can
I don't feel like we did
you
anything.
can second guess yourself to death. At the end of the day,
But I will tell you, Rich, during the addiction, I picked myself apart 1,000 times,
Oh, of
trying to
course,
figure out
of
what
course,
it must have been
of
something
course,
I did.
Of course. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. You didn't break any laws.
I didn't put
You
drugs
had
on.
morals and ethics. You were transparent. You had integrity. You treated people kindly and fair.
But I mean, I also was a good mom. I taught them chores and responsibilities and
Correct.
took them to every sport. Think
Correct.
about all the sports they were in.
Correct.
Between the two of them,
Yep.
it was nonstop sports.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, but I think that's hard for people when something happens. It could be a health issue. It could be something that just knocks you upside the head and suddenly life is never going to be the same again. But I think what a lot of us do in those situations is we try to get back to normal. You know that place called Normal? Have you found it on the calendar or on the?
I don't think.
But don't you think people do that? We try to get back to normal.
Yeah, but I don't.
There's no normal.
When something as traumatic as that happens, I don't think normalcy is part of the equation anymore.
It isn't, but what we want, because we want control and we want comfort and we want safety and security. I remember just always thinking, Jamie, just stop doing drugs, and then life can go back to normal. I said that in my head, Rich, 1,000 times.
I know, but what?
I want life to go back to normal. No matter what, it was never going back to normal.
No, it wasn't going back to normal. And the other thing is, one's faith notwithstanding, I don't think we're in control ever. It's not. We can try to control things, and then the outcome is comical because we're not in control.
Well, I think we're in control of everyday things because we do have free will. God gave us free will.
That's
we
correct.
do have free will.
That's correct.
What I do think, though, is ultimately there's a plan we don't understand because we have little pea brains and we're not God.
Right.
And so, but then I sit and I think, I remember when Jamie was first murdered and I thought, so really, this is your plan, God? I was so mad at him. I said, really? That's your plan.
Yeah.
Your plan is that she gets murdered,
Yeah.
not that she gets her life together and goes and helps other people.
Yeah.
How could that equation make sense, God? I mean, I'm literally
Yeah.
saying to him, like, you need to be accountable to me, God.
Yeah.
I need to understand. But then what did I go out and do? I mean, I started before her murder, but I've gone out at my own expense, my own time, whatever, and I have helped a lot of people. And would I have done that?
Done what?
What I'm doing? Would I have done? Well, obviously I wouldn't.
Oh, no.
But would I be out?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I always had a generous heart and I'd always want to give
And you
back
still
and
do.
be-
Yeah, you still do.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe me helping so many other people was the sacrifice we had to make with Jamie.
Yeah.
If we want to look at it from this higher plane.
Yeah, that's very possible. So if I look at professionally in my life, so I've done it. I worked in corporate America, then I did startups. I worked for a Japanese company.
Aren't the startups fun?
Oh my gosh. I worked for a Japanese company.
They can be.
After Clorox and ran their company in North America, and that was great. But going to Japan 5 times a year for board meetings, totally different culture. I tried to force the American way on them. That was a mistake.
Oh, you tried to be a little control
Oh my
freak,
gosh. And then I did startups. Hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
But I came across the guy 8 years ago. And I give you the time frame because I probably wouldn't have lasted 2 years if it weren't for what happened to Jamie.
So I can blame Jamie now for this 8-year thing?
No, it was in retrospect I should have, had I known better. Drugs were a foreign thing to me. I could have treated Jamie a lot better in her addiction, and I didn't because I was so pissed at her for what it was doing to you. But in retrospect, post her.
Do you feel like you've forgiven yourself for that?
No.
I feel like you haven't either. Maybe you should right now.
Well, let me just finish. Post her murder, through social media, we were finding out all these people she had helped. Girlfriends who had, as single parents who had babies who needed a babysitter, or somebody who needed a roof over their head, or somebody who needed to eat a particular day. And I didn't know anything about that about her because I just judged her given her addiction. Um, so as a result of that, I've chosen to work in this startup for 8 years because of leaving a legacy for her. Because this startup is all about helping others and making an impact in the world, which she did.
So you feel like, in a way, is this your
Retribution or
penance or your
no, it's not penance.
Not penance, because I know you enjoy it, but
it's not
so,
penance. It's
but as people are listening, they're going, so big deal. You're in a job for 8 years. What they don't understand is that it's very little pay.
Well, I was going to say, yeah,
it's very consistent.
No, I just assume people would understand a startup for 8 years.
No, people don't know what that means.
Yeah, so what I mean is, you would think that after 8 years, this startup would have revenue, sustainability, a ton of customers,
or be done.
Like 30 employees. There's 2 of us. We've done some trials, but we're still struggling for revenue. We're raising capital, but I know the theme around impacting the world for good as a result of what Jamie did. And there was an old adage how did it go? To the world, you may be just one person, but to one person, you may be their world.
Yeah.
So whether you help 1 or 1,000, I just want to do something for her and her legacy. So the point is, I'm doing this for virtually very well. I've left a lot of money on the table. It's not about money. I've left a lot of money on the table working for peanuts because this is a phenomenal value proposition in its ability to impact people, which is what Jamie did.
That's so cool, Rich. It's really, it's beautiful that you got to this place where you realized why you were doing this, why it was.
Yep.
But it took you a while to figure out, to dig that out of your soul.
Well, it did. So I've gone down the traditional path of raising money, venture capital people, bankers, angels. And in the last 2 months, I've kind of changed. I've done a complete 180, 360, whatever you want to call it.
It better be a 180. If it's 360, you're right back where you started.
And 180, and I've changed my tactics, but it wasn't me who's changed them. It was actually listening to a higher power, the good old man upstairs, saying, you're not in control of this. That's what I said about control in the past. We are in control because we have free will, but go down this.
I think that's the point. It's not that we should sit around and lay in bed and God will pick us up and put our clothes on us.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes, but here's the thing. If you're going to listen to God to that extent, you better be willing to do what he says. Be willing to go to the place.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think what we really want is validation when we're asking God. Hey, God, right? This is right? What if God says, nope, you quit tomorrow? And you knew in your soul he said that. You'd fight it.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Yeah, we like, Rich, I talk about control all the time because I don't care who you are, my friends, we're all control freaks in some way.
Totally.
That's how we feel comfortable in life. We want control.
No, I've learned, it's kind of like what you're doing. I've learned, it's taken me a long time, and there's a lot of battle scars, but I've learned that if you tell your story and you dispense your information as opposed to trying to convince others.
Yeah.
Just dispensing your information. Tell your story, because what will come out of that's the passion. Well, what will come out of that's the love and the desire and all of that. And people will either relate to it and glom onto it or not. But when you dispense information rather than try to convince people, it's a better way to go.
Of course. As you're saying that, Rich, I'm sitting there thinking, now it's like we're at home having a conversation and people are listening because I don't even feel like we're talking to the camera anymore.
Yeah.
But as you're talking, about your story and how important your story is, and I'm thinking about how I have now expanded what I'm doing to include a message for girls. And it's called Love-A-Doos.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be announcing soon about Love-A-Doos, and I'm really excited because the first thing we're doing is that first book, the first story. There's 10 stories.
Yep.
The first one's going to come out in February. But as you said that, I thought, am I doing that? You literally made me think at that moment, am I doing the right thing? Because I'm sort of moving away from my story, because these are adventure stories in a magical land. They have really great lessons. So I'm taking those adult lessons and bringing them to girls, but doing it in a way that's fun through characters and story. but not my story. So it's like, am I moving away from my story that I was allowed to have so I can help others? Am I doing a disservice?
No. So no, you're not. So at the end of the day, the way
Excuse me, friends, we're having a little counseling session here.
so the way I see it is this. So your post Jamie's murder, you went on a rampage, given your experience, to help mothers of addicts, which I think you have done. You have a pretty large following. You've had people weigh in from all over the world. But now, what you're doing is something a little different. You're coming at it a different way. Now you're coming at it at the youth side of it, which are their kids. Now, what's happening right now in this country as a result of mobile devices is the desocialization of our children, number one. Also, the ability for bullying digitally.
Or just not feeling good about yourself.
Well, that's what I'm saying, bullying. So that the person receiving that crap doesn't feel good about them. And when you're only 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 years old, they're left to their own devices. What do?
But I don't even think it's just bullying too, because I mean, a lot of kids don't get bullied, but what they do have is insecurities. And then they go online, to your point, to all this social stuff, and all they see is the Kardashians and whoever, and with all their fake lips and their, and this is how you're supposed to look. And if you don't look like that, you're ugly. And now we have all these kids wondering, am I supposed to be a girl? Am I supposed to be a boy? Because there's just all of this information out there. I totally agree with you. I hope that we will be able to build a brand that it won't necessarily be my story. I'm obviously not going to talk about Jamie's murder in this brand, but I'm really hoping and praying that we can help. My desire more than anything is that maybe there'll be a girl that feels however she feels one day. And when she closes the page of the book or a journal, she feels a little more courageous.
Totally.
A little better about herself.
So yeah, correct. And what I like about it is, I know a little bit about this because of a startup I was in way back in the early 2000s. And when you are able to put together a property that's wide and has edutainment value to it, as opposed to, or with entertainment value, then they're also learning something along the way. About themselves, about their confidence, about their egos.
You know what's really funny, Rich, is that you had that experience with Imagination with all the characters and the story and the magical land and everything. And in a million years, I never would have even thought for a nanosecond that I would do anything near that, because I can't even draw stick people. And I just thought of that as an artistic thing, and I'm not an artistic person. I do math. I can cook. That's my creativity, right? I didn't know. And so it is interesting how when life doesn't go the way we think it's supposed to go, you can end up in a place you never thought you would. I would like to rewind the clock, have Jamie be better, and never have her murdered, and never do love-a-doos. I'd like to be, you never do this thing that you're so passionate about. I would choose that. But here we are.
I know.
But here we are. And so if this is where we are, I literally just did my last episode. I talked a lot about how everything can be used for good. And I cannot stress enough, if there's anything about my story that anyone takes from it, forget the courage, it's going to take courage. They can't forget courage. Is that no matter what you're going through, even if it's horrific, like what we've been through, you can use it for good.
No question. No.
You can use it to actually do messaging like me. Or like you, for it to just be that spark, that flame that makes you want to do something meaningful in the world rather than just make money.
Absolutely. I mean, if you can provide, in the startup case that I'm working with, if you can provide, of course, the financial ROI that the
you kind of have to pay your bills.
But if you can provide to the investor,
I see,
that you're dispensing this information to, the financial ROI, that's one thing, but it's the emotional ROI.
So I think what you're saying is that, I don't know if it's the majority of people, but a lot of people, or maybe it's everyone inherently in us, people want to do something good. People want to provide value.
There's no question. There's no question. Philanthropy is a $5 trillion market. So what does that tell you? People are giving of their hard-earned income.
From their heart.
And from their heart, whether they can afford it or not, to help a cause.
But they're doing it because of their heart. I mean, this is the thing, is that everyone, except for maybe like Charles Manson or the guy who killed Jamie, other than people like that, most people care.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
So I think that what we're saying to the audience then is that no matter what in the hell has happened in your life, no matter how bad it is or how the hits keep coming,
Yeah.
they've been coming for us for 24 years.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit here and list them all because we'd sound like Jerry Springer, but
Yeah.
it's like 24 years of
Yeah.
hits. But in between, we've had a lot of good times too and everything because we've chosen not to let it take us down.
Right. Right. It's all about, yeah, right. You have a choice.
Yeah.
We have a choice. Back to free will. You have a choice.
So even if you can't control all the things that happen to you, you can always choose how you react in every situation.
Correct.
Even if you use, like Sean has this thing where he said he has a 24-hour rule where he'll go, I can be mad, feel sorry for myself or whatever, but I can't let it go past 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because everyone's human. When stuff happens, you initially react.
Yep.
But then we have to decide what's next.
Right.
So I think that's really what we should say to our audience in closing is just whatever you're going through, ask yourself today, what's next? What am I going to do with this? Am I going to spend the rest of my life being angry, having unforgiveness, not having peace in my life?
No, life's too short. I mean, like I said earlier, to start this out, I'll be 70 in 3 weeks. I don't know where the last 20 years went.
I don't know how I have a 70-year-old husband. That's what I'm wondering.
I hit 50 and the last 20 years went by in 2 years.
I know.
It's insane.
So let's actually end like that. Think about this. How many times we've all thought about the end of our lives? Poof. Bye-bye. Now, we happen to believe we're going somewhere after, which is even 5 million times better than here. So that's okay. But if that is the thing, it's going by that fast. Is the goal to make as much money as you can, to be as famous as you can, to be, whatever as you can, to be as beautiful as you can, as skinny as you can? Or is the goal to leave this world just a little bit better because of your choices?
Exactly. And exactly. And so the movie we watched last night, I think Robert Duvall asked the character in the movie, what do you want people to say about you?
Rich, I stopped. I stopped and I was going, whoa, what would I say? I mean,
what do you want people to say about you when you're gone? What would they say? Was she a jerk? Did she help people? Was she all about money?
Yeah. I think everyone should, we should all think about that. And I think if we really thought about that, then we have to think about our choices following that.
Yep.
So that it will end up that way. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, my friends, thank you for listening to this episode of Valerie and Rich hash it out and have a little counseling session with each other. But I hope you find even one little nugget, just one little snippet of this conversation today. If it resonates with you, we hope that you will subscribe to this YouTube channel and listen to all these podcasts, whether you're listening on YouTube or you're listening on a podcast app. Be sure to subscribe and share with people. That's the thing I think a lot of people don't do is they find help and hope and they don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
What if that's all you were supposed to do?
Yeah.
Share a little resource with someone and make a difference in their life. So I hope you will do that. And stay tuned to my new brand, Labadoos. That'll be so amazing for all of the girls in your life. Thanks for being here, Rich.
You betcha.
You're the best.
Every blessing.